Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to test out the 3 new saddles that came out with the Frontier Pursuits update. The Delgado Saddle, the Mckinney, and the Fletcher Saddle, which are all individually tied to either a bounty hunter, collector, or a trader role. You can unlock each individual one of these saddles with one of those blue coins to unlock them, and then they cost $525 each. We're going to test these against the Dakota saddle, which is an upgraded saddle that you can purchase for about $200 to $250. The Panther saddle, which is a special saddle, and also the naga Dosha saddle. So in these tests, we're going to be looking for endurance while you're wearing these on your horses, basically how far you can get from point A to point B without having to stop. Most important thing in these tests is going to be the fortification ring and the drain rate. Hopefully by the end of this, you guys are going to know which one of the 3 is the best, if they are better than any of the other saddles in the game, or if you're buying these specifically for your preference on the design, customization, or appearance of these saddles. So they're not cheap, $525 each, plus you have to obviously purchase one of the rolls, level up, use one of those blue coins. These tests hopefully will answer for you if it's worth it or not. We're going to test out the Dakota saddle, which is the cheapest one out of all these saddles, just as a benchmark to see how all the other ones compared to one of these cheaper saddles. So we'll go ahead and take this test. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so we just finished up that test with the Dakota saddle. I just wanted to see what the results would be for this one. This is one of the cheaper saddles. It is definitely the cheapest saddle out of the ones we're going to test. We got somewhere in between the Fast Traveler at Van Horn and the Stable in Van Horn before the fortification ring and the core was completely drained. So now we're going to go ahead and switch it up to the Delgado saddle, which is the first test on these new saddles. The Delgado saddle will cost you 1 blue coin to unlock, $525 to purchase. This is the Bounty Hunter saddle. So let's go ahead and see how this test works out, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. Alright, one thing I will say about the Delgado saddle, it probably is the sharpest looking in my opinion out of the 3 new saddles. Unfortunately, you can see fortification and core is drained. We are just roughly getting to about the Stable in Van Horn. So it's pretty disappointing that the Dakota, which is an upgraded saddle that you can get at, somewhere in the 30s, 40s, 50s for only about $200, kind of performs the same as this new one. So it's not really looking so good for these new saddles if you're looking for performance. I mean, if you like the style, more power to you, go ahead and buy it. But we're testing the Fletcher saddle, which is part of the trader roll, and let's go ahead and see how this one works out. So we have roughly about the same results as with the Delgado saddle. Pretty much drained. We are not even to the stable yet in Van Horn. So as of right now, the Delgado saddle seems to be a little bit better by maybe a couple of 100 feet as far as when the fortification and the core will drain. So far, not too good. Let's go ahead and see how the Mckinney saddle does, if it'll save the day for the new saddles, or if you are in fact just buying these saddles for the different appearance and style of them. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So the Mckinney saddle did not over impress. It's, you know, struggling as we get to the fast travel. It still does have a little bit of a core left, but I would say the Delgado, McKinney, and Fletcher saddle are pretty much the same. I would say the Fletcher saddle is probably the worst between the three of them, just a little bit. In my opinion, honestly, if you have some other saddles, like even upgraded saddles, if you have special saddles, or specifically the naga Dosha saddle, I'm going to say go ahead and stick with those. Save your coins to go ahead and buy some other stuff or unlock other stuff that just came out. We're going to go ahead and test the Panther saddle, which is a special saddle. Let's see how this one stacks up to those new saddles, and let's see the results. Might be a little shocking. Who knows? I'll be back with you shortly. All right, we're done with the Panther test. And, you know, basically the Panther, the upgraded saddles, I tested the Cougar saddle off camera. You're going to have to trust me, it performed just as good or poorly as this Panther saddle, depending on how you want to look at it compared to the McKinney, Delgado, and the Fletcher. All of them pretty much finished in roughly the same area. Now, I've done these tests with my Foxtrotter. The Foxtrotter on all these saddles that I've tested so far will get you to the water tower in Ansburg. All right. This horse here doesn't have as good a stamina. That's why I specifically tested. So far, all the saddles we've tested have got us somewhere around the stable in Van Horn with this horse. If we did the same exact test with the Foxtrotter, we would get to the water tower in Ansburg. So let's go ahead and test out the naga Dosha saddle to see how much better this saddle is than every other saddle in the game. Finishing off today's test, we have the naga Dosha saddle. The fortification ring is not even halfway drained compared to its starting point. Now keep in mind, on this horse, it's only about 75% full. We are probably about less than halfway through that right now. We've already passed the stable in Van Horn. We're pulling up to the water tower in Ansburg. Now remember, if I did this test on a Foxtrotter or a Turkleman, every one of these saddles would have ended roughly at this point. But you can see the naga Dosha saddle, whether it's on this horse that doesn't have that great of stamina, the Foxtrotter, you can go as far as you really want to go. This one would have taken me all the way to roughly Bacchus Station. If I was on the Turkleman or the Foxtrotter, I would have been able to get all the way to like Strawberry or Blackwater. So for the price, $525, same price as these new saddles. This is still the best. Again, these tests are just for endurance. If you like the other saddles, purchase them. Not worth it in my opinion. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.